Hello there. This is Being God's Obedient Servant channel. And today's lesson, we're in Psalms still. Going to be there for a little bit. Going to be doing chapters 87 and 88. This will be a short reading. For one, I mentioned it before. I'm having an issue with my eye. I have a sty. I thought it was going away, and tonight it flared up on me. I've been doing that warm compress for probably about almost 2 hours or so. And yeah, so it's one of my eyes is kind of blurry. I have to wink to kind of see a little bit clearer. But either or, God's work needs to be done. And so, also, like 89 has got like 50 something verses, so it's going to be a video all on its own. So I decided just to do a short one. Did a long one last time, and didn't mean for it to be that long, but it was. Had a lot to say, a lot to go through. But yeah, so if you're new to this is a Bible study channel, as you can tell. I go through the Bible from beginning to end as God commands. If you're going to teach the Word, you got to teach all of the Word, not just part of it. That goes to any teacher, preachers, deacons, bishops, which also tells us that we're to learn all of the Word. That way we're not easily misled. I've seen a lot of people do that. Says, well, and the Bible says this, and I said, no, it doesn't. And they're like, well, how do you know? It's like, because I've read it multiple times. But yeah, like I've even showed here, I'm still learning things. I've went through the Bible probably between 15 to 20 times. I kind of quit counting after a while. And I'm still learning things. You never stop learning the Bible. I know preachers that have the Bible memorized, but they don't run their church as Christ commands. So it's like having the Bible memorized doesn't do anything if you don't apply it to action. These are facts about anything in life. Doesn't matter how wise you think you are, if you don't apply it to your life, you're still living dumb. But this time it is at night. My dogs are asleep. I don't know if you can ever pick it up on the microphone. I don't think you can. But I have a shepherd dog, a Pyrenees, and he's out in the front yard right now barking at something. Possibly a coyote or something in the field across the road. But yeah, so he's about 100-pound dog. He's the type. They're good guard dogs. They protect herds, livestock, and families, especially the ones they consider they're human. They're good to have. Sometimes they're a little too protective, though. Just a little FYI on that. Yeah, I've had some friends visiting. My dog's never really been around them much. And for a little bit, he was okay with them. All of a sudden, he just started getting like, I don't like y'all here no more. And so I'd have to put him up quite a bit because he would start to just, get a little like, especially if I was laying down. If I was laying down and they got up in the middle of the night or something like that, he did not like that. And plus, they were sleeping in the section that he normally sleeps at, part of the house. I think that's what really bugged him. But either or. Yeah. Well, this dog was a stray, so I live alone. So I can deal with dogs and stuff, but if you have a family or friends over a lot, this, that, and the other and stuff, and you're wanting to get a dog, do some research on the one that you're going to get. If you're going to go to a shelter and adopt one, I highly recommend that. You still have to do research, kind of know their temperament and everything else. And be ready to do some training. But yeah, anyways. It is being done at night time, this lesson, so I don't have the issue of a dog yanking the microphone down with stepping on the cord. But like I said, it's going to be a short reading tonight. And because like I said, my eyes messed up a little bit, making reading a little more difficult. 'Cause I'm literally almost looking at the screen sideways a little bit, trying to keep one eye out. It's funny. If you could see me, it's hilarious. Like I said, though, God's work has to be done. You know, if it can be done, you should do it. This is how men have always been. It's like, do you take a call in sick at work? I'm like, am I dead? Can I move? Am I still breathing? I guess I'm going to work. God made men that way. It was hilarious, though. I've been watching some video stuff where they're talking about some feminists complaining that they don't want to work no more. And like, okay, well, men don't want to work either. We just do it because we know we're supposed to. Women aren't called to be the providers. Men are. It's commanded by God. That's why God made men different. But that's just our mentality. But not all men have it. But you have to remember, God's commandment also is, if you don't work, you don't eat. God doesn't ask a lot from me. And so, I'm going to do what God wants. Let's go ahead and get started into this. These are titled differently. Looking at some of my study parts here. This one's called A Psalm or Song for the Sons of Korah. And the next one is called A Song or Psalm for the Sons of Korah to the chief musician upon Mahala. Sorry, I can't focus on this. It's smaller print versus what I see on the screen. Mahalath, Leonoth, Maskil of Heman, and Ezahite. So that maskil, we remember about that already, so we done talked about that word. But yeah, since it's going to a musician, we'd have to say instead of a song or psalm, it would be a song. But it's going to be the remembrance of. But yeah, so these kind of to the sons of Korah. Let's go ahead and get started in this one. Psalms 87:1. Now this one's only got 7 verses, so this one's really short. The next one's got 18 verses. Like I said, it's going to be a very short reading. They're pretty straightforward. So talk more after the end of this reading. So we should have no problem being right at the 30-minute mark on this. But yeah, like once again, if you're new to this and you want to learn the Bible more, I do recommend starting off at Genesis chapter 1 and on my channel, whichever one you're on. I said there's 4 places I primarily load to. Of course, it's YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. So let's go ahead and get started here. 87:1. His foundation is in the holy mountains. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of thee, a city of God, Selah. I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. Behold, Philistia. I think that's how you say that one. Philistia. Let's go with Philistia. That sounds better. And Tyre with Ethiopia. This man was born there. And of Zion it shall be said, this and that man was born in her, and the highest himself shall establish her. The Lord shall count when he writeth up the people that this man was born there. Selah. As well the singers as the players on instruments shall be there. All my springs are in thee. Now, you have to remember, this is to the sons of Korah. And more than likely, it's going to be written from Korah to his sons. Unless something happened to Korah. I didn't really look up to see who Korah was. But it's they're kind of, you kind of read songs like this and I'm like, well, how will that apply to my life? And well, for most of us it won't. This is primarily going to, talking about, Zion. And some people are like, I've heard that name before. Yeah, it's in the Matrix. They used a lot of biblical names of things and stuff in the movie The Matrix. And it makes me laugh. We've already went through this. The movie The Matrix. The title, The Matrix. Moses, I can't remember exactly when it was he was using it, but the word matrix in the Bible means a woman's womb. That the man was born from a woman's matrix. And it's like, so now we got a movie called The Matrix, which is one of my most favorite movies of all time, especially when it came out, because it was just nothing like that has ever been done before, really. And you didn't know what it was about or anything, so it was all a complete surprise. It was great. But yeah, so now it's like, the womb. So like if you want to, but then you have, what was the Nebuchadnezzar, the ship, and Nebuchadnezzar was a king in Babylon, and of course you had Zion, the last city deep in the earth, the only place left warm. It's like, but yeah, there's quite a few things in that movie where they used a lot of names from the Bible, but. Yes, but throughout all of the Bible, you talk about God, Mount Zion. He loves Mount Zion. And if I remember correctly, and even in Revelations, that's where God, at the end, possibly even Jesus brings down, I think Jesus brings down, he brings down his city. I think it's going to be the New Jerusalem. Then God brings down, during the second resurrection, that's going to be after Judgment Day, God will then be on the earth, and he will put his city on Mount Zion, and then all will be there. But yeah, either or. So, let's go ahead and jump to the next one. Chapter 88. O Lord God of my salvation, I have cried day and night before thee. Let my prayer come before thee. Incline thine ear unto my cry. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draweth nigh unto the grave. I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man that hath no strength, free among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, whom thou rememberest no more, and they are cut off from thy hand. Thou hast laid me in the lowest pit, in darkness, in the deeps. Now, clearly here, distraught, person's dying or considers himself dying or like they're dying. They feel utterly alone. Now, it's like when you think of your own mortality, how will you feel on your ending days? As a soldier, I trained for combat. I was combat arms. I didn't get to go to Iraq in the first Gulf War. I did go to Bosnia. I lost friends there. I did go to Iraq the second time, but as a civilian contractor. But the whole time, like even the first time, it's like, well, people that don't know about the first Gulf War, it lasted 28 days. Our unit was next to go. We were geared up and everything else, fixing to hit the tarmac and everything. Is like, oh, stand down's done. It's over. It's like, what? So it's that's what it was. But yeah, Bosnia was. You have to accept the fact. It's like a soldiers, when even ex-soldiers, all veterans, especially combat arms. We watched the movie Gladiator, and Russell Crowe's character says, "You are an Elysium and you're already dead." He's talking about being a soldier, and when you're deployed to a danger zone of any sort, you have to think about your own mortality. It says, I may not make it back. You know, that's why it says before you deploy anywhere, you have to make sure your will is done. You know, everything's filed properly. You know, a letter home is written. You write it yourself. A lot of times we do. And just in case, you know. That way someone has, you know, your last will and testament, whatever possessions you do have, your life insurance policy, and your last words. Now everything's done by recordings. When I was in, you know, digital cameras didn't exist. Cell phones didn't exist. Oh, we had the brick phones, the car phones, the big brick phones and stuff. But that was for the, you know, very wealthy people had those. Those are super expensive. Multiple thousands of dollars just for the phone. And the service was outrageously expensive. But regardless of that, you know, they didn't have no screens. There was no texting. It was literally just talk. So communication's a whole lot easier today. You can literally just like this, make a video, record yourself, you know, have video, talk to it, blah, 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 saving stuff, and says, hey, if it don't come back, play this, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's like a lot of people, though, are not in that situation. So when you read Psalms like this or anything like this, when it's somebody facing their own mortality, and kind of feel sorry for the person here. More said, more than likely, it's going to be Korah, for the sons of Korah. It says, I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man that hath no strength. Now, of course, we know the pit is hell. So this person didn't see themselves as godly. Evidently, anyways. Or, you know, on God's good side. Or maybe he just feels that, you know, he's being punished or something. And that he's been abandoned by God. That's kind of what it keeps saying here in a little bit. But I'm going to reread 6 and continue on here. Thou hast laid me in the lowest pit, in darkness, in the deeps. Thy wrath lieth hard upon me, and thou hast afflicted me with all my waves. Selah. Thou hast put away mine acquaintance far from me. Thou hast made me an abomination unto them. I am shut up, and I cannot come forth. Mine eye mourneth by reason of affliction. Lord, I have called daily upon thee. I have stretched out my hands unto thee. Wilt thou show wonders to the dead? Shall the dead arise and praise thee? Selah. Shall thy loving kindness be declared in the grave, or thy faithfulness in destruction? Now, clearly, this person here that's written this psalm, or he's still calling upon the Lord. He believes in the Lord. If you're one of faith, God does not abandon you. You know, this is said Old Testament, New Testament, throughout. Those who call upon the Lord and have faith in the Lord, love the Lord, trying their best to follow the Lord, God does not abandon you. And so we also have to understand and remember that sometimes bad things happen in our lives and God doesn't fix it. Our health goes bad. God doesn't fix it. Like me with my eye, it's been a week or so. I've asked God to fix it. And he's like, no. But I know of the treatments to try to help myself. You know, I have access to doctors and stuff to go to. I have a damaged body from the military. I have done things and I do feel better. I've lost a lot of weight, so I do feel a little bit better, but I still have problems. You know, God hasn't fixed me. And He won't, more than likely. You know, that's just the way it is. We're to understand this about God, that He sometimes it's His will that we don't get fixed. And we have to be okay with that. But and I think this person has fallen into that he's in this situation and he wants God to save him, and you don't always get saved. But if you are believing in the Lord and serving the Lord, you're already saved. Human beings think of life and death on earth as, you know, the end. That's it. And God says, no, it's just the beginning. You know, so don't worry about dying on earth all the time. It's like, you know, because it's not until after this do you truly live. Let's continue on here. Verse 12. Shall thy wonders be known in the dark, and thy righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? But unto thee have I cried, O Lord, and in the morning shall my prayer prevent thee. Lord, why castest thou off my soul? Why hidest thou thy face from me? I am afflicted and ready to die from my youth up. While I suffer thy terrors, I am distracted. Thy fierce wrath goeth over me. Thy terrors have cut me off. They come round about me daily like water. They compass me about together. Lover and friend hast thou put far from me, and my acquaintance into darkness. So in this time of feeling, he's in isolation. His wife or any friends, they're not there. I can relate to this psalm quite a bit because I live in solitude. Don't want to, but it's just the way it is. Now, you try to go out and make friends and stuff, it just doesn't really always happen. And when you're young, it's easy to make friends and stuff at times. But as you get older, life changes for everybody. As everybody gets in their routines and their responsibilities in life and everything else, and it just kind of happens that way. You don't have that buddy thing where you're hanging out with the same person every single day for hours like you did going on the school bus, going to school and hanging out, then on the school bus home, and you live close together, and then, you get your bikes and you go riding bikes together and stuff, and then the sun starts going down and you got to go home, eat dinner, and get cleaned up, go to bed, and do it all over again the next day. Now, as adults, you don't live that way. We all know this. But like I said, there was only 18 verses there, and that's the end. I'm still right here at the 30-minute mark, talking quite a bit between those. Guess there was more to say than I thought. But yeah, so simple and effective psalms. I said for some people, it may speak to them. Some people, it may not. But like I said, we're to teach and learn all of the word. Even the parts that may not make too much sense. But one day, that psalm may make a lot of sense. And for some people, it may make perfect sense for them. But just always remember, when you serve God, He doesn't leave you. You may feel that He's not there. But He is. A lot of times, when I'm having a bad day, I feel the Lord isn't around and stuff, but He's still talking to me, and I know that reminds me. He's like, yeah, you're here. It's just, I'm having a bad day. And we all have them. And a lot of times we think, why am I having a bad day? God, where are you? And it's like, he's like telling himself, well, I'm helping you be a better Christian. I need you to be stronger, be able to handle more problems. And that's the reason why we have hard times. It helps train us to be better Christians. Whenever you can handle harder times, He'll put a little bit more on your plate. But we got to be able to handle things and handle stress, and I'm definitely not one of them to handle stress well. The people that are like subscribers, whatever, and knows this channel, knows me and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, especially on the roads. I don't do well with stupid drivers out there, and there are so many today. Maybe there's always been, I'm just getting older and noticing them more. I don't know. But there seems to be a lot of disrespectful people out there on the roads today. A lot of selfish people. But it is what it is. That's the people you got to pray for. I'm not to unjustly judge. I still call you a moron if you're driving like one. But also I have to remember that I don't know what's going on in that person's life. So that's why we're not to be too quick to judge. We're not to unjustly judge. But yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and end this lesson here. Like I said, it's going to be a short one, quick reading. Straight to the point type. Not a lot to dismantle in these Psalms, but it's still part of God's Word. So once again, remember to pray. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Pray for my eye. I hate feeling of something messing with my eye or in my eye type feeling and painful in the eye. It's just, it makes life very aggravating. But I also have to remember, because I have to remember to thank God eyes can see. Some people can't. You take things for granted at times. That's why we got to remember to pray and thank God for all the little things. Because some people, their life's a whole lot harder than mine. And I forget about those people exist from time to time, because you just get wrapped up in your own little world. We all do it. But yeah, so we just got to remember to pray, have that good communication between good conversation between us and God, and hear back from God and stuff. It helps recharge you on a daily basis to do those things. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going to end this lesson here. And so until next time, God bless, good night, and goodbye.